Marcus Hayes, Fight Hub TV, powered by you, the fans at home, with Mr. Al Bernstein. Al, what's going on? How you been?
I've been good. And I'm anxious to get back into
exciting
ringside.
News for you.
Yeah,
right?
I'm going to be
back.
back
About your new news.
Yeah, I'll be back on at ringside on May 23rd for the Big Fights, the Big Fights Boxing USA series, and that's going to be on DAZN. On May 23rd is the next one I'm doing, and I'll be a part of that series moving forward, and I'm very excited. Excited to do that series with Salida Promotions, and excited to go over to DAZN, where they are providing such a wonderful, I think, a really good schedule for boxing fans.
Absolutely. Boxing on fire these days.
It is indeed, all over the place.
You look behind you there, you got Canelo Alvarez, Jaime Munguia. We're here at Fight Week. What do you think about that matchup? We had a lot of exchanges yesterday. Yesterday we had Oscar De La Hoya have a real testy exchange with Canelo Alvarez.
A little salty.
Culminating with Canelo getting up and basically clearing the air and wanting to challenge De La Hoya to a fight. De La Hoya stepped to the side and looked like he was willing to accept. Naturally, both cooler heads prevailed. But talk to us about kind of the build-up to the fight and where we are.
Well, that animosity, obviously, everybody knows exists. They had an acrimonious breakup. There have been many, many very negative and salacious things thrown back and forth between those two. In a way, that served as a surrogate for the two fighters being mad at each other. One fighter being mad at a promoter, and these days it seems that you need somebody mad at somebody for a fight build-up. So I think that was part of that, and I think it was genuine. We see so much that we know seems fabricated when people get into beefs with each other. That one seemed very genuine, and if that in fact drives people to be more interested in the fight, then I guess it would.
With everything that was said, we saw Canelo Alvarez kind of act out of character.
Yes.
Like I said, jumping up, being quite upset. I asked Oscar De La Hoya after the melee, did he think that he made things more difficult for Jaime Munguia on fight night? He says, I poked an old bear in Canelo Alvarez who doesn't want to fight. What are your thoughts on angering one of the most deleterious punchers in the fight game today?
Well, look, Canelo's going to fight as Canelo's going to fight. He's a fighter who now is a counterpuncher who measures out his offensive firepower. Certainly is capable of walking fighters down, and maybe this will make him more aggressive. And because of Munguia's, defensive lapses, that could help Canelo, or it could hurt him because he would be engaging in the kind of a back and forth volume punching fight that Munguia wants. And if Munguia can get past those early rounds and get to the later rounds, maybe some fatigue that we've seen in Alvarez before would come to the forefront. So I don't know if it's going to change the way Canelo fights, but there's no question he's taking some emotion into it because of his exchanges with De La Hoya.
You think that works into an advantage for Canelo or a disadvantage with taking the emotions in, or is it just too early to tell?
It's hard to tell, and as I said, if he's overly aggressive, it could benefit him because he is a more powerful puncher. He's probably the heaviest puncher Munguia has faced, and if he gets to him because of the defensive problems, that's great for him. But if he's forced to be in a firefight and Munguia can take his punches, it could tire him out for those later rounds where we know sometimes he gets fatigued.
And Munguia, we've seen him snatch fights out of the fire late, in particular with Derevchenko.
Right.
Munguia, a heck of a gas tank for a young guy.
Oh, yeah. And this fight absolutely boils down to whether Munguia can avoid being hurt. Period. Because he could win rounds by being a volume puncher. Now, whether he gets those rounds when you're facing Canelo, you don't always get them. But will he be able to stand up to the power of Canelo Alvarez? That's the $64,000 question.
With the aggression shown yesterday, and like I said, Oscar De La Hoya looking like he was willing to accept some type of confrontation with Canelo Alvarez, let's do a dream matchup. 154, Canelo Alvarez held the title at 54 in 2016. Oscar De La Hoya, same belts, 2003. Who wins that matchup?
Oh, that's intriguing at 154. At the time when Alvarez was fighting in that weight class, I would lean slightly to Oscar De La Hoya because he was able to, if Oscar De La Hoya would fight the fight correctly, which a lot of times he didn't, he would change styles and hurt himself. If he were to be the boxer in that fight and use his long reach and the jab, he could win a decision against that version of Alvarez, just as Floyd Mayweather did.
You think it would look relatively the same way?
It would be similar. I don't know. I think it would be maybe not quite as one-sided, although one judge didn't think it was one-sided. But I think it would be a similar kind of fight if Oscar fought that way. If he didn't, then he would give Canelo Alvarez a chance to win and hurt him.
From one dream matchup to a fighter named the Dream, Devin Haney, Ryan Garcia. Devin Haney losing a majority decision to Ryan Garcia 2 weeks ago. Yesterday, news broke Ryan Garcia popped top for performance-enhancing drugs. What do you think about, how does that change his victory in your eyes?
Well, look, the whole fight seemed off. Let's be honest. Everything about the fight, you know, the lead-in was weird, right? It was strange. It was odd. It was contentious. Sometimes it's just almost embarrassing. He came in 3 pounds overweight, apparently intentionally. And the only good part of the fight was his performance and the fact that the fight was pretty interesting. And so we should almost be shocked that there's a weird aftermath to the fight, because here we are. It certainly impacts the victory dramatically. You know, if you're using a performance-enhancing drug, it changes everything, in my opinion. If he is, and he'll have a chance to perhaps somehow prove he didn't, but we'll find out.
And if he did, Devin Haney already calling for that victory to be called a no contest. But with all isn't it crazy, Al, that even with all of that said, the rematch still keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger between Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia?
Yeah, of course. We live in times where no event is too weird, period. None, as evidenced by Tyson, Paul, and whatever. If an event can be marketed, it's good, period. It's the way it is now. So this all enhances the marketing of that event. And so because of that, it makes it a potentially bigger event.
Al, as usual, it's always good to spend a little bit of time with you here during Fight Week. It's Marcus Hayes with Fight Hub TV. We'll be talking to you soon. Thank you for your time.
Take care.
Appreciate you.
Thank you so much for watching this video, and make sure to subscribe for more videos of your favorite fighters over here on Fight Hub TV, and give us a follow online as well at Fight Hub TV on Twitter and on Instagram. We appreciate it, guys.